Hello, welcome to Disconnected. This is absolutely my favorite video since starting this channel. This is one of those classic cases of own goal. Uh, so I don't even, sometimes I don't know what to say because it's just so incredibly unbelievable that we have anybody proposing book banning in this day and age. It is like really. Anyway, Republicans in Utah are learning the hard way that book ban law they fought for is leading to an unexpected outcome. Let's see what that unexpected outcome is. So this is a video by the Humanist Report. Okay.
In 2022, Utah, like many Republican-controlled states, decided to go on a book banning spree, and one school district in Utah removed more than 50 books from school libraries, most of those books being LGBTQ plus affirming material. Now, towards the end of the year, Utah state lawmaker Ken Ivory, this individual here, authored legislation that expanded this effort by giving parents the authority to challenge and potentially remove books from schools that are indecent and or contain pornographic material. Now, this bill was actually passed recently and signed into law last week by Utah's governor. Now, this entire effort was basically spearheaded by one far-right organization called Utah Parents United, and their ultimate goal is to ban any LGBTQ plus related books or content that predominantly features people of color.
Okay, so that's interesting because since the Bible is about 2,000-year-old happenings, 2,000 year and beyond old happenings, which all happened in the Middle East, essentially. So basically no one in the Bible is white. Like literally no one. So that's another reason why it should be banned according to their own laws.
And they won. They got what they wanted, but this victory comes at a cost because this group and the lawmaker who sponsored this legislation seemingly didn't anticipate the ways in which this could come back to bite them. And I say this because one of the
That's because they're dumb as fuck. That's why.
first books being challenged is the Holy Bible. Now, because of this law, the district may be forced to remove the Bible from school libraries. The Salt Lake Tribune reports, frustrated by the books being removed from school libraries, a Utah parent says there's one that hasn't been challenged yet, but that they believe should be for being one of the most sex-ridden books around. So they've submitted a request for their school district in Davis County to now review the Bible for any inappropriate content. Quote, incest, onanism, bestiality, prostitution, genital mutilation, fellatio, dildos, rape, and even infanticide, the parent wrote in their request, listing topics they found concerning in the religious text. You'll no doubt find that the Bible under you.
I suppose he forgot to add the fact that it is just full of non-white people as well.
Utah Code, section 76101227, has no serious values for minors because it's pornographic by our new definition. District spokesperson Christopher Williams repeated what he's told other media outlets, quote, we don't differentiate between one request and another. We see that as the work that we do. He said the Bible challenge has been given to a committee to review. The process typically takes 60 days, but Williams said the committee is not done with this request due to a backlog as more parents have been questioning books. So apparently lots of parents want to ban books, but one of those books is the Bible.
Utah. What the hell? Why would you want to ban books? Don't you know where this leads? Don't you know where this comes from? And all that's going to happen is that books that you like are going to be banned too, for the same reasons that you want other people's books to be banned. I mean, come on, guys.
Now, this request was submitted, and if it's approved, then the Bible would indeed be removed from at least one high school in this district, Davis High School. And the school district is taking this request seriously, as they stated, because they are legally required to do that. And we just got a snippet of the parents' request from that article, but I think it's worth reading the entire letter. It's just 2 paragraphs, basically. But it's so good to read because this is exactly what parents around the country need to do. This is a classic case of malicious compliance, and this parent here is onto something. So the parent writes, I thank the Utah legislature and Utah Parents United for making this bad faith process so much easier and way more efficient. Now we can all ban books, and you don't even need to read them or be accurate about it. Heck, you don't even need to see the book. Ceding our children's education, First Amendment rights, and library access to a white supremacist hate group like Utah Parents United seems like a wonderful idea for a school district literally under investigation for being racist. I noticed there's a gap though. Utah Parents United left off one of the most sex-ridden books around, the Bible. Incest, onanism, bestiality, prostitution, genital mutilation, fellatio, dildos, rape, and even infanticide. You'll no doubt find that the Bible, under Utah Code Section 76101227, has, quote, no serious values for minors because it's pornographic by our new definition. Get this porn out of our schools. If the books that have been banned so far are any indication for way lesser offenses, this should be a slam dunk. And that right there, my friends, is how it's done. And according to this law, well, the Bible shouldn't even be a question. They're looking into it currently, but there is, without a doubt, pornographic and indecent content in that book. So since the law makes no exceptions for holy books, unfortunately for them, the Bible is fair game and it may very well be removed because of their law. Now, what's even more hilarious about this story is the response from the author of Utah's book ban. Because when he gave parents the authority to propose book bans, he very clearly didn't foresee the Bible being one of the books that...
Because he's dumb as fuck. And he's so up his own arse about his own stupid beliefs. And this is what happens.
That a parent would challenge. And as a result, he is, quote, very sad that one parent would abuse the process. And he even says that this parent who submitted this challenge to the Bible is wasting the district's time because apparently all of the other book bans, that's not wasting the district's time. But a book that he doesn't want banned, well, that's a waste of time.
There's a different ways of looking at it. And one way you can look at it is like this person is such a delusional Christian that like the Bible, and only the Bible and God and Jesus and this, and those are the only kind of things that his life revolves around. But I would suggest it's probably even worse than that he's just one of those people who knows that the people around him or in his constituency are all kind of very Christian, and he's just trying to pander to them, and trying to be all, all about the word of God, and trying to get his constituents to like him. Both are horrific reasons. I mean, politicians should be the voice of reason and intellectual, and they should be, world-wise, and it should be for the good of everybody. But anyway, here we go. It gets kind of more interesting.
So as LGBTQ Nation reports, Utah State Representative Ken Ivory, who sponsored HB 374, described the request as a political stunt that would drain school resources. There was a purpose to the bill, and this kind of stuff, it's very unfortunate, he said.
As if, like, having parents propose, like, random books, whatever they don't like, to be banned and be scrutinized isn't a drain on resources.
Said, there are any number of studies that directly link sexualization and hypersexualization with sexual exploitation and abuse. Certainly, those are things we don't want in schools. For people to minimize and to make a mockery of this is very sad, he complained. The audacity of him. How dare this parent make a mockery of the process? Because, of course, when we passed this legislation, we didn't expect a parent to propose a ban to a book that we like. And even though the Bible does objectively contain content that, by the definition of our law, would obviously be...
And no white people. So ban it.
Pornographic and indecent, well... I like that book, so let's not ban that book. Let's just ban the books that I don't like. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. Based on the law that you wrote, the Bible is fair game. He just didn't like that something that he prefers in schools is now being challenged. And what I love is that I'm assuming the same people who don't want the Bible banned, who support book bans, is going to be mad about this one as well. This book is called Sex. If you're scared of the truth, don't read this. And this book is being challenged because of the provocative title, but the book is actually about abstinence. But because
This is such a classic. People are so. I don't know what kind of people do that when they get so hyper. I don't want to say offended, but kind of sensitive about certain subjects and books and lyrics and stuff. Because we all remember the days in the 80s when there was this massive outcry, especially from kind of the Christian community about against rock music and metal and stuff like that. And they were going on about how it's satanic and how they're driving their kids to evil and towards the devil and away from God, and promoting suicide and promoting promiscuity and promoting all that, when literally the majority of those lyrics were actually just talking about those subjects, and highlighting those subjects. They were never promoting the subjects, because the people that are usually the people that are on about these kind of bans and are so hypersensitive actually don't really read the stuff. They don't really understand the lyrics or why the lyrics or the book or whatever was written. They just knee-jerk because of the title or because of maybe the aggressiveness of the music or whatever. They don't actually even take the time to understand, what the artist is saying. And so they just knee-jerk and say, no, this is terrible, they're driving our kids to Satan. Anyway, this is literally one of those classic, typical situations.
Title is very obviously indecent or could be perceived to be indecent. Well, this also could be removed from school shelves for violating Utah law. Sorry, evangelicals, that's another L for you. So I think that this is an obvious point to make, but I'm going to make this point anyway because it's really important. Whenever there's a state that has laws like this is what parents need to do. Challenge the Bible. Because this is how you use their censorious laws against them. You challenge the material that they hold most near and dear to.
I mean, you can argue that the Bible is literally one of the worst books that have ever been written. It is ancient. People take it as the truth when there's no proof that it is any truth. It puts people into a position where they want to preach from that book, which nobody can prove comes from any source of reality or truth. It is full of all these things that this person has said. It is completely taken over by white folk when it was actually like there was no white folk in it. It is just one of those books that have caused so much pain and suffering in this world. And so you could actually argue it's probably, if any book ever should be banned, which in my opinion should never ever any book be banned, but it would probably be at the top of the list if you start arguing for which books should or shouldn't be banned in this world. I would suggest that the Bible probably has the most credit to it to go down the bin, Anyway, this was a great video, and I thank these guys because this made my day. Comments down below. Thanks for watching.